My name's Alden Morris, and today we're going to be introducing the Beez Combat Systems APTUM line plate carriers. Right here is your basic model APTUM. It comes standard, just like as you see it now. However, the shoulder pads here are an additional upgrade. So be sure that when you order your APTUM at the checkout on the website that you are also upgrading to those padded shoulder pads as well, because based on the weight of your plates will determine how uncomfortable those shoulder straps are going to end up being without those padded shoulder pads. This APTUM comes with your Kangaroo 3 magazine insert, which actually goes in this pocket right here. So there is a little bit of diligence required when it comes to inserting this 3 magazine insert, as well as when it comes to taking out the insert. But that diligence is just going to show more proof to the fact that this is a well-designed and well-made plate carrier, which is going to do its job when you're out in the field, regardless of what operation you're currently undergoing. Now, this is made out of 500 on 1,000 denier Cordura laminate. The laminate allows it to be laser cut, unlike traditional plate carriers that have the moly webbing that's reinforced stitched to the exterior of the plate carrier itself. This one actually has laser cut webbing that's actually taken out of the material. So there's no additional weight when it comes to having to put on that additional material and reinforced stitching. And it's actually even stronger and more durable because the moly webbing is laser cut out of the pre-existing material that's currently on the plate carrier itself. So you actually have more material holding your attachments, such as pouches, secured in place. So that's one good thing. Now, there is a variety of cummerbunds and pouches that are compatible with the APTUM plate carrier that don't necessarily come with it, but are purchased that can be purchased with at the website. But we'll go over those later on in the video. However, what I would like to focus on for you guys is the different loadouts that are available when it comes to these APTUM lines. So, for example, because of the wide variety of pouches and front flaps, for example, that are available for the APTUM line, it's almost impossible to name a specific number of different style loadouts that are available, especially because they all come down to what's most convenient and comfortable for the operator. So I'm just going to show you pretty much 3 prime examples of how I personally run my APTUM plate carrier loadouts, as well as what's available and commonly seen on social media as well. So this is going to be number 1. This is your base model APTUM, basically at the checkout. Last I checked, I believe the price, the MSRP for this in multicam was $167.99, and it comes with everything you see here, minus the upgraded padded shoulder pads. So it does come with the 3 magazine Kangaroo insert that, again, does go in there, does require some diligence putting in and taking out, but that, just like I said before, shows the the great construction that's behind such a designed plate carrier. So moving on, after this one, I do need to mention there is comms management available. For example, you see vertical laser cut webbing attachments that are designed for either running front flaps that are going to have the 1-inch buckles or G-hooks, as well as allowing for example, these Velcro straps for comms management. So if you're running, a Baofeng radio or a 148 or a 152 inhibitor for that matter, these are available for comms management. So you do have the Velcro in the front for ID tags, as well as the Velcro in the back. Now, there are options with the different style plate carriers when it comes to the APTUM line. So for example, you have the swimmer's design, which fits specific style plates. You have the sappy shooter design, and you have the covert design as well. This is one of the more traditional APTUMs, since I was one of the earlier testing and evaluators of this plate carrier. But however, the back of these APTUMs, there is a overt style available, so that comes with the laser cut attachments already available on that backing. This is right here is not that backing. For example, this is your slick back that has your Velcro ID tag. But those are available if you wanted even more real estate. Those overt backings are available for the APTUM lines. And very quickly, before we go into the next loadout, I do want to mention for you guys watching at home that the attachments are really purpose-built for the trend in the market right now. So for example, right now the trend, as opposed to last year, was a lot of quick-release cummerbunds. The trend right now is having the availability of a Velcro-style cummerbund to be attached either overtly over your front flap or even beneath it. So these plate carriers, these APTUM lines, are designed with that in mind. So you can attach your cummerbund underneath the front flap. Seems to be that the style with a lot of Ferro Concepts, for example, or Spiritus design chest rigs and plate carriers, is they have the cummerbunds or just the attachments on the exterior of the front flap, which in my opinion is not a very good, even though the market trend does kind of lean towards that when it comes to aesthetics, eye appeal. Realistically, when you're out in the field and you're having to go prone, you're crawling forward, if you're having that cummerbund on the outside, it's gonna tear off. So realistically speaking, it looks good on camera, but it's not an ideal for real world scenarios. So that is available if you're part of the Milsim crew or the Mil-Spec crew. You know, if you want to look cool while running, you know, airsoft, or if you want to use this for a real ideal scenario, then both options are available. So we're going on to the next loadout. Now, this is the second style loadout that is what I'm going to be showing you guys, not necessarily what's just available on the website or what's commonly seen through social media, but what I prefer when it comes to my personal loadout, things like that. This is the second option I'm going to be showing you. Now, this is called the front flap 3-cell, which comes available with both the 1-inch buckles as well as G-hooks. Now, there's also another front flap available that is a Velcro style front flap. However, for the purposes of what we're going to be demonstrating on this front flap, I'm going to save that front flap, the Velcro one, for the third example of the loadout, which will be coming up next. The reason why I separated this one specifically is because this is Beez Combat Systems' newest design when it comes to the front flap. So for example, this one is the G-hook availability, or the option, and then there's the 1-inch buckle one as well. Now don't mind the tape here, and we're going to do a zoom in here, so let me go ahead and get that set up for you. And now that we're zoomed in, you can kind of see more closely some of the examples that I'll be showing you. So for example, don't mind the gaffer tape or the electrical tape that you're seeing on my G-hook. That's just from the field getting kind of used and abused out there. But this front flap is the newest product available for the APTUM line, whether it be the swimmer, the covert, or the sappy shooter. This front flap comes equipped with a elastic bungee retention here at the bottom, designed for tourniquets. Right here we have the Gen 7 CATS tourniquet by North American Rescue attached to this. And this is all part of that front flap. As you can see, I have my cummerbund attachment on underneath. The front flap is actually held in place by Velcro backing and the G-hooks themselves. Now the 1-inch buckles would be attached here at the top and would allow a click in. So that way, when you go to take on and off your cummerbund, if you don't have the quick release cummerbund option, there's no obstruction when it comes to navigating your possessions here. This is the 3 AR magazine front flap with the G hooks. This is designed for AR style magazines. Now there are front flaps in the works being designed for AK magazines, but that is going to be yet to come here shortly. On the sides here, you'll have another elastic bungee retention, which is going to be designed for either Sharpies for marking time dates, for example, on your tourniquets, or even glow sticks or IR sticks. So those come with options as well. Whatever you can use it for, if you can squeeze a pen flashlight in there or whatnot, it's up to you. That's the beauty of the configurations of the APTUM design. Now, finally, on the front of each magazine insert here is going to be additional laser webbing, laser cut webbing. This allows for additional real estate. So if you want to attach additional magazine pouches for your sidearm, for example, that option is available to you. I run a Glock 17 Gen 4, so therefore I have this Glock 17 magazine here. I tend to stray away as much as possible from having too much accessories on the front. For example, if you need to go prone, you're less of a silhouette the more things you have on the front. therefore you're going to stand out while laying prone, for example. But for the purposes of this video and for some of the purposes and how I train, I do keep one magazine pouch typically here or on the side of the cummerbund here. So this is our second example. This one is the 3-cell G-hook front flap. And again, I appreciate it because what the next example, what I'm going to be showing you, I had to kind of configure my own version of this. But since this is a new product, Beez Combat Systems have been able to add, additional things that weren't available before on the traditional front flaps when the APTUM line first came out. So we'll be moving in onto the third APTUM. Okay, so this is our third configuration that I'm going to be demonstrating to you. And I do apologize beforehand for my lighting. My lighting's kind of off today, it seems. So this is the third configuration, the configuration that I've been running the longest when it comes to the APTUM plate carriers by Beez Combat Systems. Now, I'm going to be working my way from top to bottom. There's been a lot of design changes since this APTUM has come out, so some of these issues that I'm going to be explaining are now no longer an issue when it comes to these new designs of the APTUM. So for example, what I'm briefly mentioning here is you have a juggernaut case here on the front. And let me go ahead and zoom this in for you so you guys can see up close. Great, and now that we're zoomed up close, so this juggernaut case here is one of the larger style cases when it comes to having a tablet or a cell phone available tactically on your chest. And this design of this case actually obstructed from my ability to be able to get to my 3 magazine insert located in the kangaroo pouch. So as you can see, especially when this is down, there was no access to those magazines once inside that pouch. So the front flaps were available because if you look underneath the front flap itself, you'll see that you have that exposed Velcro as found with the APTUM base. Now the front flaps being available, I got the Velcro front flap, which allowed me to have a grid attachment technology on the front of that front flap. Now grid and GRIDLOK is the design of the laser cut webbing by Beez Combat Systems that allows for its own pouches to be attached to your loadouts. So GRIDLOK is what you'll see, and we'll demonstrate that here shortly. So what I did is I took the GRIDLOK AR single magazine pouches and I attached them to the front of the front flap Velcro for the APTUM. The front of these AR magazine GRIDLOK pouches also include one single vertical row of laser cut webbing for attachment for example, for pistol pouches. So took that option because what this allowed me to do is it allowed me to keep my kangaroo 3 magazine insert in case I needed to strip this, so I still had access to magazines if I took my juggernaut case off, but also allowed me accessibility to my magazines that were more protruded forward without obstructing, my maneuverability when it came to the juggernaut case. Now the only downside of this type style loadout is the protrusion so much forward on the chest did raise me up higher when it came to going prone, especially with a rifle. So that's the only downfall of that when it comes to this specific loadout. However, the good news is on the new designs of the APTUM plate carriers, Beez Combat Systems has actually designed the real estate laser cut webbing to be slightly higher, so that way if you do attach a juggernaut case or many of the other cases that are out there that are available through the different markets, it does not obstruct any more access to your kangaroo 3 magazine insert. So, and that's how the front flap is attached, by the way. As you saw before, the G-hooks attach up here. Same with the 1-inch buckles would attach up here. As for the Velcro front flap, it literally just bends over and just tucks right into that magazine pouch. Kangaroo pouch where the magazine insert sits. So you can see there's extra strength when it comes to that attachment. Now finally, moving down, since we've gone over the different style front flaps, what's available on the chest, I would like to really demonstrate the T-bag. Now this is kind of a big deal. You see a lot of companies out there with a different style front flap or lower bag when it comes to their plate carrier designs. Now this is called the Beez Combat Systems T-bag. Now it's in a large pocket that attaches literally just to that plate carrier pocket. And the neat thing about these T-bags is it's designed to fit the Beez Combat Systems plate carriers as well as the Beez Combat Systems chest rigs. So do keep that in mind if you want to run just a chest rig and not go for that full plate carrier. That T-bag option is still available to you. Now the bottom of this T-bag is another elastic or bungee retention that holds tourniquets. So for example, this is the Gen 7 catch tourniquet by North American Rescue, which isn't a large tourniquet compared to many others, but Beez Combat Systems designed their elastic retentions to fit that Gen 7 catch tourniquet. So, and just for shits and giggles, what I have in my own T-bag is I don't really run medical supplies since I have other pouches for that by Beez Combat Systems. I do run some multicam gloves, my multicam booty hat, a couple of cool guy patches, some gaffer tape just in case, things like that. So little things I run, and I'll demonstrate more here and later in the video with pouches that I run, things like that. But what I'm going to be introducing to you next is a small variety compared to the large variety that I personally own of cummerbunds that are available for the APTUM plate carrier. So do stay tuned for that. Okay, and once again, I apologize for this lighting. Doesn't seem to be working with me today. So what I wanted to go over right now is the cummerbunds that are available for the Beez Combat Systems APTUM. There's a wide variety of cummerbunds. In fact, just about 3 more, if not 4 more cummerbunds were just recently launched in the last month here of September of 2020 with Beez Combat Systems. However, what I have available to me is just a select few that are just for demonstration purposes that are available for the APTUM plate carrier. Now what I have on here currently, which is my go-to style cummerbund, because I'm more of someone who likes to run pouches on the sides of my plate carrier. So I run what's called the 5-inch grid on this plate carrier. Now if you, the only real difference between this and the other cummerbunds is that it's significantly larger, so that way you can put pouches that have more horizontal rows of webbing that are much larger, like IFACs, for example, things like that. And this laser cut gives you 5 channels of that real estate ability. Now, other cummerbunds, for example, that are similar to this one are this one here, which is going to be the 3-inch grid cummerbund. So relatively the same thing. The only difference is that this one's substantially shorter than the 5-inch grid cummerbund. Now this allows you for more low-profile operations. This is very common amongst the plate carriers like the APTUM Minimalist, for example. It still gives you the ability to have load bearing available to you for a variety of pouches that are smaller, but not nearly as much real estate as what the 5-inch grid would offer you cummerbund-wise. Another common cummerbund available to the APTUM plate carrier is this style right here. Now these are very popular amongst the airsoft guys. I just have one available to you. I don't seem to know where the other half of this went, but not so much load bearing, more of a cool guy style. But again, another cummerbund that is available to you at the website at beezcombatsystems.com. Now these style cummerbunds I do actually really appreciate because these are more of the play on of that 3-cell G-hook front flap. Excuse me. These have more of an elastic style pocket for AR magazines or even radio pouches as well. The rear one here, where you see without the pull tab on the top, usually is designed for a radio pouch. Now, the cummerbund itself comes with 8 cells, so that gives you the ability to run a cummerbund where your magazines up to 8 are available additionally on the sides here. So you can run theoretically 3 AR 30-round magazines on the front of your plate carrier, as well as 8 more, 4 on each side additionally with this style elastic cummerbund. So, and we're going to pull up one more cummerbund that's currently on the APTUM Minimalist. Now this is the APTUM Minimalist. We'll be doing a video in the future here about this one, but for the purposes of this video right now, we're just going to be showing off the cummerbund that I have with my APTUM Minimalist designed by Beez Combat Systems. This is the 3-inch elastic cummerbund. Now I keep this on the APTUM Minimalist because it's the lowest profile cummerbund available on the Beez Combat Systems website that still keeps your plate carrier secured and in place. Now this is also available for the APTUM Swimmers Edition or the Sappy Shooter or the Covert as well. But like I said again, I keep this as a low profile option for my APTUM minimalist when I do things like gray mat security, for example. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to be going over a small variety of the pouches that are GRIDLOK designed by Beez Combat Systems that I have currently available to me. Now, I do have some more. They're just currently not with me. I'll mention those as we go down the line. However, we'll be starting with the IFAK pouch. So the IFAK pouch, here it is. I like to usually attach these to the 5-inch cummerbund. They go great, mostly on the 5-inch cummerbund grid. IFAK pouch is a great design. You have the color signature available, so this right here can actually be swapped to black or red, or it can be taken out entirely to give the multicam background. You have a Velcro ID front here. I run usually A positive because that's my blood type, and NKDA, which stands for no known drug allergies. Just so in case something happens, there's no fear of having to pump me full of morphine, for example. Now inside I keep a basic IFAK kit, usually wrapped in plastic, just so it's can withstand the weather elements. And on the bottom of these IFAKs, you have another bungee attachment, for example, that is great for tourniquets. So, and again, is designed, for the Gen 7 CATS tourniquet by North American Rescue. These have the GRIDLOK attachment straps here on the back. As you can see, that is the GRIDLOK. I'll get a closer look in for you. And that is the GRIDLOK attachment. Now, do stay tuned or check out Beez Combat Systems Instagram, Facebook, or even YouTube channel for directions and how-to videos on how to attach the GRIDLOKs. Just like your traditional MOLLE webbing, if you're running malice clips from Tactical Tailor, for example. Same concept. The only thing is the GRIDLOK is a lockdown mechanism once you've attached it and you've weaved all your straps in through both sides of the material. So moving on, we'll go on to the Tourniquet 2 pouch next. Now this is the TQ2 pouch, same design as the IFAK. However, unlike other tourniquet pouch designs, not only can this take both the rat style tourniquets and the CATS Gen 7 North American Rescue tourniquets, but this also has a slot for trauma shears. So that's one good thing about this design with this TQ2 pouch by Beez Combat Systems is the ability to carry additional trauma shears within just a tourniquet, which is, if you've ever been in the real world and you've seen accidents happen, whether you're working in law enforcement or even the military, you will know that there are a lot of scenarios where you do have to cut an article of clothing in order to apply properly a tourniquet. And having the trauma shears available with your tourniquet is a huge plus for those kind of scenarios. There's a color signature as well on this pouch. And of course on the back, the reason why it's called a TQ2 GRIDLOK pouch is because it has that GRIDLOK attachment strap. Next we'll be moving on to the Balefang pouch. Now the Balefang pouch is a great pouch. It has the drop down style. For example, when it's attached to the body, the cummerbund, or the front of the plate carrier, for example, you have a Velcro strap that allows you to unhook it and bring down the Balefang radio. This allows you to be facing inward, so you have access to that dial pad and those keys, whether you're running stealth style Balefang radio or you're just common UV5R, for example. This has the GRIDLOK attachment strap as well. And what I mentioned before that I don't have with me currently is the other radio pouches designed by Beez Combat Systems that too have the GRIDLOK attachment technology. And those are going to be the 148 and the 152 inhibitors. Now if you work in military or some departments of law enforcement for that matter, they usually operate using and utilizing the 148 and the 152 inhibitors. So if you're familiar with those style radios, just be aware that if you get permission from your quartermaster with your gear, then you'll have access to the Beez Combat Systems, which are very compliant 148 and 152 GRIDLOK inhibitor pouches. This here is the admin pouch, your one basic pouch that's just serves a great purpose. In mine I keep a Right in the Rain memo book as well as a map of my local area just in case. There's so many variety of options that are available to carry this admin pouch. So whatever you want to carry it, it's a great piece of equipment designed by Beez Combat Systems. Has the GRIDLOK attachment technology. It does have Velcro on the front for signature, ID signature, things like that. So a real basic pouch. I usually run it on chest rigs, for example, especially during land navigation type deals, like training, for example. So keep that in mind. Admin pouch, real affordable, made in the USA, very compliant, great piece of equipment to have. Now, I am showing off this pistol pouch because one thing I do want to point out when it comes to, for example, the third loadout that I introduced you, where I attached 3 30-round AR magazine GRIDLOK pouches to the front of the front flap Velcro. There are options, for example, if you look at this pistol mag pouch, that this is an open top with a bungee retention. Now, that bungee retention is optional to remove. Same with the rifle pouches for both AK and AR. Has the open top bungee retention pouches. Now, what's also available if you're running in cold weather is the closed top pouches that also are GRIDLOK. So I'll give you a closer look at that real fast. You can see this is a closed top pistol magazine pouch that has the GRIDLOK attachment technology on the back. This is also available for both rifle and pistol. So if you wanted to run, for example, on the front of a front flap Velcro 3 closed top AR magazine GRIDLOK pouches, that option is available to you. Same with the closed top pistol pouches. So just letting you know, for example, cold weather, I would theoretically swap out that magazine pouch. Now, last but not least, what I have pouch-wise available to me to demonstrate for you is going to be Beez Combat Systems handcuff pouch. So if you work in law enforcement, one of the great things I love about these APTUM style plate carriers is these big Velcro signature identifiers on the back and on the front. This allows you to run one of those police patches if you are working in law enforcement. If you're a sheriff, you can run that sheriff patch. You're working with the DEA, doesn't matter, that is available to you. And one of the things that's great and available that works well with both the 5-inch grid cummerbund and the 3-inch grid cummerbund is this handcuff patch. Now, it fits your basic style handcuffs. What I run here is the bar style. So instead of chain, I run bar, but however you have the chain style handcuffs, those will also comfortably fit in here. Has the GRIDLOK attachment technology, so it fits real comfortable, like I said, on either a 3-inch or a 5-inch grid cummerbund. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the 3 loadouts of the APTUM that I personally run, whether it's the basic or the front flap 3-cell G-hook, or what I run for the most durable for the most part is the Juggernaut on the front with the 3 AR mag pouches on the front of the front flap Velcro. Again, several different cummerbunds are available for this plate carrier, as well as the T-bag, which is a purchase I would highly recommend. As you'll see in some of the overlay footage, that T-bag does not sit too low when it comes to pivot points and working out in the field. For example, if you're going crouched or prone or crawling, whatnot, that T-bag has never obstructed any maneuverability for me or myself. So there are other cummerbunds available that do work with quick release. So for example, First Spear tubes are available for some of those cummerbund options, as well as the Rock 80s. So do keep an eye out for those. Those are a popular style cummerbund, and they're adaptable to other companies' plate carriers. So for example, the Faro Concept, Slickster, Spiritus Design plate carriers. I know the JPC and several other plate carriers that are out there. The Beez Combat Systems cummerbunds are available and compatible with those plate carriers. So if you run a Crack Precision JPC, for example, one of the most common things about that plate carrier is the cummerbunds failing. So upgrade to a US-made affordable cummerbund designed by Beez Combat Systems. Look at the variety of options that are available, from quick release to Velcro to 3-inch grid to 5-inch grid, what have you. And they're all very compliant, so do check them out. Again, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. I have playlists when it comes to weapons reviews. So I work with a gunsmith, James Bennett, which we provided a variety of video series from Art of the AK to different builds. We have a gear and equipment review playlist and several other playlists, plus just general videos. So like I said, if you like what you are watching, like the video, share the video, subscribe, And again, thanks for watching. Tune in for next time. We'll be going over the Beez Combat Systems APTUM Minimalist Plate Carrier.